friends, welcome once again to another episode of Why Jesus. Let's meet our guest for today, Randy from New York. Hi, Randy. Welcome to Why Jesus.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Randy, can you tell us a little more about yourself, what you're presently doing, your family, whatever, your interests are?
Sure. So I was born in Guatemala, and I came when I was 10 years old with my mom. My dad was already here, so he brought us. And then when I came here, I had to learn English and go through the whole school system. And after that, I graduated from high school and went on to a junior college where I got an associate's in math and science. And then after that, I wanted to go to another school, but the things that I applied to different schools and I didn't know where to go. So it's like I was asking God and where He wants me to go. And at the end, it was really funny because like the school that I'm currently attending, I wasn't planning on going there because I was gonna go to a school in the city, but then I was just like, one of my pastors, he said to pray, and because he wanted me to apply to this school, and then I ended up applying, and like the last day to drop a class and from my other school, I got a letter from the school that I'm currently attending saying that they were gonna bless me with a scholarship. So it was kind of a miracle. I wasn't expecting that. So after I heard that, I dropped all of my classes from that college and I moved to the other college, which has been a blessing to me. I've been growing a lot and I can't wait to see what Jesus has in store for me for my future.
Now, Randy, you mentioned about praying. Can you share your experience about prayer with us? How you started about with this phenomenon of praying?
Sure. I think I caught it from my mom because she's always been a prayer warrior, and I always see her praying, and I was like, I want to be more like her, and I started to follow her footsteps, and start to pray like her. I started to read my Bible, and started to read more about prayer and what it was, which is us basically talking to God and asking Him things that He wants us to do that can glorify His kingdom.
Now, did you ever feel like you were compelled to pray by your mom? Because a lot of times, even being born in Christian families, a lot of kids attend church or follow their parents because they have to, not because they really feel connected to it. Do you feel like you were compelled to come into this prayer phenomenon or spiritual aspect of life because your mom kind of forced it on you, or did you kind of find your own way into it?
Well, in the beginning, it was like I didn't really like it because like I could have been doing a lot of things with my friends, but my mom was like, "You have to go," and I was like, "Mom, I don't want to go." And then she was like, "No, you have to come with me." And I want to say for a couple of years, it felt like that because like I wasn't feeling anything or something that everyone describes feeling something, and I was like, "What are they talking about?" And like, I'm not feeling anything, just might as well not go. But I'm thankful to my mom because she always asked me to come. And then one day it was just like it was amazing because like I was able to feel the presence of God, and it was like this is what I want to do. This is what I want to feel, and want to continue on this path.
So, can you describe that turning point when you felt that for yourself?
Well, it was actually when I started to join the worship team in my church because like at that point I was like kind of just going because, and when I finally joined the worship team, I was like, this is something that I want to do. Like I like helping people like get closer to God, and I feel like when I worship and like when we worship together, we're able to connect with God even more than when we are by ourselves.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, but by worship, do you mean like singing?
Yes, we our service usually involves praise and worship, which is us basically praising Jesus for everything that he has done for us, giving thanks. Sometimes our worship songs are songs that ask God for guidance. It's like it's a really wide range of things that we can sing about, but it's mostly directed to Jesus and worshiping him.
Now, you seem like you're interested in music and singing. Is that so?
Yes, I'm actually at the current school that I'm attending. I'm studying computer science, but I also want to study music. So, because I've been blessed with a scholarship, I can actually take music classes. So I'm thinking on getting a bachelor's in music in the future.
Now, talking about music, now we have a wide variety of music out there, secular music, and you also have religious music. Do you find a difference between the two, Randy?
Yes, because the thing for me, when I listen to something that's not Christian, I can immediately feel that there's a difference. But when I hear to worship song, it's just like it brings a peace to my heart. Because every time I listen to something that's secular, it's like I don't feel good, and it's just like I shouldn't be doing this. But when I listen to uh, something that praises God and for all of His goodness, it's just like this is it.
Do you have a favorite song?
Uh, yeah, I actually have a lot, but something that comes to mind is a song by Bethel Music. It's called "Thank You," which talks about us as individuals, like how can we thank Jesus for everything that He has done, for everything that He will do, and there are no words that can describe how thankful we are for everything that He has done for us.
Now, Randy, you sound so strong in your faith, but has there been any times in your life where you've doubted or you felt like this is not really for me? You felt like going back to not believing?
Yeah, actually, when I was in high school, I used to have a lot of friends that used to mock me because I had like this faith in Jesus, and like they couldn't understand why I had such a faith for someone that for them wasn't real. They couldn't see him, and I was like, sometimes that brought like thoughts into my mind, thinking, what if they're right? What if I'm wrong? But then throughout community and throughout fellowship with friends from church and people that just love Jesus, I was able to overcome that. And I was like, no, I know that there's Jesus, that he's true, and then that he died for us on that cross.
What would you say from your experiences as a student, as a youngster? What are the greatest challenges that are faced by young believers today?
I'm a young adult, so there are things that I obviously want to do, like go out with, to clubs and stuff like that. And sometimes it just feels like I want to do that, but then I feel convicted by Jesus saying that this is not the way, this is not the path that you should be on. You should be glorifying my name, serving the kingdom, expanding the kingdom of Jesus. But I mean, it's not to say that I don't have fun with my friends because we do a lot of stuff, but everything is under the honoring Jesus. So
Now, has your relationship with Jesus affected your relationship with others in your age group?
yes, because I have friends that are not from the same that don't know Jesus, and they follow a different religion. So with them, I mean, I respect their decision, and I prayed about them. I try to share the gospel with them, but there comes a point in which just have to let God and Jesus do the work. And I'm still friends with them because I want to look over them and see if they like at any time they want to talk about Jesus. But for now, I'm just like respecting their decision and honoring what they choose to do.
Have you been able to lead someone to believe in Jesus in your friend circle or in your age group?
Yes, I actually have a friend from high school. He didn't really believe in Jesus because to him it was just something that didn't really make sense. So we became really close because he was also from another country. He came from the Philippines, and we got really close. And then as our relationship grew, I was like able to share the gospel and more about Jesus. And then one day I invited him to the church that I attend, and then he started to join a lot of different ministries, and he started like I could see Jesus growing in him, and now he's just like such an amazing guy that lives a life that's honoring to God. And he has his when I think about him, I think about humbleness. He's always willing to serve, which reflects a character that I mean even I want to have, because like he's always willing to serve.
What would you say, Randy, is the biggest obstacle for youngsters of today to believe in Jesus?
Well, I guess in the world that we live right now, it's everything is about science, technology. Everything is like if you want to believe it, you have to like see it first. So, I guess I mean even for me, when I was like growing in Christ, I was like not being able to see or physically see Him was something that was challenging.
What do you think that could be done to tackle that?
Something that I think that can be done is just showing the love that God has showed to us. I mean, Jesus gave His life on the cross for us, and I mean, we just want to expand on that and share the love for them to see that this isn't something that's fake, but it's something that's real, and show them love. That's all we can do.
What would you say is the greatest character of Jesus that should attract any person who does not even know Jesus?
I will have to say something. His mercy and faithfulness, because He's always there for us. Like no matter how much we messed up, He's always there. His mercy, He's always forgiven us for everything that we've done. Like I messed up a lot of times, and He's always there, showing His mercy, and He has never let me down, and He will never let me down. So, yeah, His faithfulness, He's always there.
Is there anything related to your faith or about your belief in Jesus that you're uncomfortable with?
I don't think so. At the beginning, I was because, like I said, like in high school, people were like mocking me, and I was like, I didn't really feel comfortable. But now, as I'm an adult, it just doesn't really affect me anymore because I know that what I'm doing is, it's following Jesus and that He's real. So right now, it doesn't really affect me because like I'm sure about my faith. I know who He is. I've experienced His presence. So, I mean, I don't think I would ever leave Him.
For anyone out there who hasn't experienced Him and you said you have experienced His presence, if they were wanting to have that experience, what would be the steps to take?
Well, I guess one of my advices would be to join people that love Jesus and have experienced their presence. Or even if you're by yourself, you can read the Bible, listen to worship music. There's a lot of worship songs and artists out there. And
Do you recommend any artists in particular, Randy?
yeah, someone that I listen a lot is Bethel music, because they just have this. You can feel the presence through their songs, and it's amazing.
About reading the Bible now, is there any specific portion someone should start off with if they want to kind of explore?
I would have to say the Gospel, which contains the books where Jesus first began His ministry, and you can see how Jesus was transforming people's lives, how He was betrayed. You can see the compassion that Jesus was showing everyone, that people in His ministry were messing up as well, and He just like forgave them. He showed them the love that He had, and even when He was crucified, He did it out of love. He died for our sins. And another book that I can connect to is actually in the Old Testament, which is the book of Job, because like there we see a man that has been faithful to God. He was blessed tremendously by Jesus, and then all of a sudden you see a lot of trials come to him. And even in the midst of all of the trials that he was facing, you can see that he was faithful till the end. And even though he was actually, I wouldn't say whining, but he was like asking God, why are you allowing for me to go through all of this? And I mean, God or Jesus, he didn't reply. And that is something that I can relate to, because like sometimes we ask God for things and we're going through a lot of stuff in our lives and we don't know why it's happening. And sometimes we turn to Jesus asking him why, and then sometimes we don't hear anything, and that's something that is just like I don't it doesn't make me feel good, because like I feel like I've been abandoned. But when I read the book of Job, I realize that he never abandons us, that he allows us to go through that process to grow us as a person, and mature our love for Jesus. And what I like about that book is what Jesus said to Job. He was saying, "Were you there when I created the world? Were you there when I created the universe? Can you understand the laws of physics, the laws that govern the world?" And he was like, "No, Jesus, I don't understand it." And he was like, "Exactly. So how can you be asking me such things? Because if you don't understand how I created everything, how can you possibly understand the plans that I have for you?" And after you read all of that, at the end you're able to see that God blessed him again, double of everything that he had. So that book just gives me encouragement that even though when I think that Jesus is not listening, he's always listening, and everything that I'm going through is just something that's building me up for the future.
Randy, is there a person who has influenced you in your spiritual relationship with Jesus? Someone that you look up to?
Yeah, my pastor from the church that I tend to. I have the opportunity to work with him, so I've been able to see how his charisma, his character, and you know, he's such a loving person, which reminds me of the persona of Jesus. He has given me a lot of opportunities in the ministry, and I messed up a lot of times, but he's always there giving me second chances. He's a person that is able to see the potential in people's lives even when you don't see it yourself. So that is something that reminds me of Jesus and his character, and how he's always trying to help us grow and expand his ministry, giving us opportunities throughout every aspect of our lives.
Randy, when you're not in church and you're not studying, what do you do to
Uh,
relax? Or what are your interests?
well, I actually picked up the piano a few years ago, and that is something that I like doing when I'm feeling, I wouldn't say down, but when I'm feeling like stressed with all of the schoolwork that I have. I can just go there and worship God, worship Him throughout my playing, and it just gives me a peace.
What are your plans for the future, Randy?
Well, I want to finish my bachelor's in computer science, and I also want to get another bachelor's in music. 'Cause, the thing is that I've been given the honor to be part of worship throughout many churches in my county, and I've seen the need that there is in every church, because most of the churches don't have musicians or people to lead worship, and I just want to help them with that. I want to make a difference and be able to help other churches, and expand the kingdom of Jesus.
It's a great thought, Randy. Randy, if you were given a chance to go back in time and change something back in history, is there anything that you would like to have done differently in your life?
I would say no, because everything that I've been through has shaped me and how I am today. And I really like what God has done in my life. Even though I've gone through a lot of stuff, I really like how God has shaped me. So I don't think I would change anything.
It's a known fact that the youngsters of today face a lot of issues in their lives. From your experience, what do you think is the biggest problem that is faced by today's generation?
Well, I have to say it's decision making, because we are expected to do a lot of things. We're expected to do good in our schools, and sometimes there are a lot of times in which we are faced with decisions that we have to make. For example, which school I have to go, which is something that I went through, and I didn't know, so I had to pray about it until I felt like I got an answer from God. And it was just like every time I have to face like a decision, like an important decision, like my schoolwork, my college, my education, I just feel like it's something that everyone goes through, and that it's just not me.
Now, how do you think, Randy, that people out there who don't know Jesus can tackle it? Or what can you do to promote that ease in decision making?
One of the things that I think it's a must is seek the presence of Jesus, because what you've come to find out is that when you follow and hear what Jesus is trying to say to you, decisions will be made easier, because now you don't have to worry about if you did the wrong decision or not, because you have the security that Jesus is with you and that you made the right choice.
Now, being a student in college, do you think there are enough resources out there to cater to the spiritual needs of students?
I don't think so, because before the college that I'm currently attending, I went to a non-secular junior college, and there wasn't really anything to me. Actually, here in the United States, it's I wouldn't say it's kind of illegal to share your beliefs in public places such as universities and schools. So I see that there's need for us, people that love Jesus, to share our experience throughout the different colleges, and to so that people can come to know Jesus and know what it's all about.
Do you think the churches today are equipped to cater to the needs of the generation of today?
Honestly, think that most of us are not ready, because sometimes we just are centered about our community, and sometimes we don't really think about others, and that's why I think that sometimes we are not really ready, because like we don't know what's happening in our next county, and yeah, we have to get more involved.
What do you think are the steps that should be taken to address that as a youngster from your perspective, Randy?
Recently, we went to a town in our county, and we had a service there, and we're able to see that people actually want to know more about Jesus. And it's just because, I mean, in the society that we live right now, it's like time is very precious, and we think that we don't have enough time, but in actuality, we do have enough time to share the gospel and the love of Jesus.
And talking about sharing it with others, have you ever experienced any adverse reactions to trying to share your faith in public?
Yes, like I said, the New York is like a really diverse state, and you see people from different backgrounds and different religions, and some people are just not willing to listen to you. So what I usually do is just pray up for them.
From all the experiences that you've had growing up and your experience as a youngster so far, what would you like to tell the youngsters out there today?
I have to say to get connected with people that love Jesus, because what I found out is that if you're by yourself, you can't really grow and the love of Jesus and everything that He has for you. But when you connect with people and you have fellowship with them, you're able to see more of the characteristics of God, how Jesus is there for us, His faithfulness, and how He is loving and kind. You can see that throughout every person that loves Jesus. So that is something that I would advise people to get involved in the community with people that love Jesus.
Randy, thank you so much for your time with us on Why Jesus. I hope all your efforts to share Jesus bear fruit, and good luck to all the future plans that you have made. But I have one parting favor to ask you. You did mention about your talent of playing the piano. Can you showcase a little bit of your talent as you leave?
Absolutely.
Great. So there you have it, viewers. We have heard the personal experience of Randy from New York. He's going to leave our show and leave us to enjoy a melody from his piano talent. Thank you. Do join us again next week.